This Steve Jones Show podcast is now loading. The Steve Jones Show podcast is presented by Sunbury Motor Company, Brewers Outlet, and Purdy Insurance. Bringing you an in-depth look at Penn State sports and more. This is the Steve Jones Show on News Radio 1070 WKOK. The Steve Jones Show is presented by Brewers Outlet, Sunbury Motor Company, and Purdy Insurance. Now, from the Sunbury Motor Studio, here's Steve Jones.
This half hour being brought to you by our good friends at Sunbury Motors, 4th Street in Sunbury. Sunbury Motors, Kia, routes 11 and 15 in Hummel's Wharf, and online at sunburymotors.com. Ford, Kia, Hyundai, the best in new inventory. Great deals right now for the holidays and great warranties. Well, maybe the budget is screaming pre-owned inventory. They go over every vehicle on the lot. Easy the buying experience. And a terrific service department. Quick lane inspections, routine, difficult. They handle it all at Sunbury Motors, 4th Street in Sunbury. Sunbury Motors Kia, routes 11 and 15 in Hummel's Wharf, and online at sunburymotors.com. And let's bring in the outstanding Donnie Collins. Happy holidays. It is always great to hear you on the other end of the line.
Great to be here, Steve. Happy holidays.
Happy, and same to you. All right. So, the hiring of Matt Campbell, now 9 days in. He's now met with every player. He's met with every staff member. Your thoughts on the hire that he ends up being the one?
Yeah, the way that whole thing kind of played out is interesting because you had this, I think you started out with these grandiose hopes that they were going to get this big home run hire, and it looked for a while that every big name out there was tied to the job, and then you look and you hear Kalani Sitake's name out there is the next guy, and then that falls through, and it's interesting because it looks like a total mess, and then they land on a guy who is as solid as it gets. And
yes,
I consider it a 99th percentile result, considering how it went. But honestly, Steve, I think if they fire James and then on Monday hire Matt Campbell, I think it's still a 99th percentile hire. I think he just brings the right demeanor. He sets the right tone with the players. That it's always interesting to see what once he starts meeting with the guys, what that entails and what the players say. And it came out it came out well for him, and they seem to like him. And look, there's a lot of other teams that are losing a lot of guys. And Penn State's not in that boat quite yet, publicly at least. But I think it's a good hire. He fits what they want to do. He fits the school. He fits the fan base. I think it all worked out for Penn State in the end. And I think all their other head coaching searches have worked out for them in ways that under some duress in the past 10, 15 years. They've come out on the other end with some hope.
So you have a lot of contact with people in northeastern Pennsylvania. What have the fans told you?
They like him. It's it's tricky with fans. I don't want to. A lot of them wanted James fired in 2015, and then he turns it around, and it's okay for a little while, and then. All that. So I take it all with a grain of salt. But yeah, I knew they would like Matt Campbell, and a lot of them were asking me, throughout the process, why don't they look at the Iowa State guy? And the answer was, I don't know that they aren't. and they kind of ended up circling back to him or circling to him. And once it did, I think that was kind of the I could see that one happening. And he's got the mentality. And he's from close enough to Pennsylvania. I mean, he holds the same kind of the values that people here hold, and I think that matters. I think that matters with your football coach when you're the biggest school in a state. When you're Penn State in Pennsylvania, I think that matters to people. That holding the values and holding. and having that toughness, that single-mindedness of that blueprint for success that worked at Iowa State. Now, does it work here? Time will tell. But he's got all it takes to be successful at Penn State, and I think he'll have support, which is also a really big deal. I think there's something about the guy people like, and it's crazy because in a way you hear all these big names being thrown about, and everybody had an issue with every one of them to a degree, but I haven't heard anybody with a real issue with Matt Campbell, and I think that's because he's kind of similar to the way people are here.
Which then brings us to the next part. What did it mean as one of his first moves was to make sure that Terry Smith was retained, and what did that mean for your opinion, but also to the opinion of the people out there?
Well, yeah, I mean, Terry, I think was it's a big swing and a miss if you don't keep Terry. Number one, he's a Penn State guy, as everybody knows, and he's that link to the past, and he. All the old school and there's a lot of old school Penn Staters here in northeastern Pennsylvania. It's mostly old school Penn Staters here, as you know. But yeah, I think they all kind of identify with Terry in that regard, and they know what he's done for the program as a player, as a coach, on the recruiting trail, what he means to the kids, all of that. But again, I think he did a good enough job when he was the interim head coach, and still is, but. He did such a good job there, kind of turning it around, even if not with winning every game, with building the kind of, I guess, program and toughness and offense, simplifying everything, the kind of these fans are used to, and I think a lot of fans around here. If the choice was Terry, it would have been popular, and I think that's true of everywhere. It's not just northeastern Pennsylvania, but
that's right.
That's true everywhere. But Terry is a guy around here who, again, you look and he did a great job, and people around here wanted a great job rewarded, and that's I kind of heard that a lot was Terry's earned it, and you don't fire James to hire somebody off his staff. That just was never going to happen. I didn't think it was a chance to set a direction for the program for 10 years, and. That's what I think they hoped was going to happen from this, and Campbell has that opportunity. But Terry, keeping him on the staff, keeping him at the university and the program, I think that was as big to fans here as hiring the right guy and hiring a guy with Campbell's credentials.
What did you think of the team down the stretch, the way they played, and why did they play better?
It was simpler. I mean. I think my one quibble with James, and I really like James. I thought over the years, I thought he was up front with me. I think a lot of the things that were said about him were unfair. But this year especially, I think when you're Penn State and you have those two running backs, and you have a quarterback at the time with an Aller who was, to me, more of a play action guy, you have to run that kind of offense. And I think Terry, when he took over, he was not afraid to put his stamp on it, and it was a toughness stamp. It was a simplifying everything stamp, and they were certainly better offensively with Terry because they weren't afraid to run the ball 3 out of 4 downs. They just weren't, and Katron had a great second half of the season, and Nick, I think they figured out some ways eventually to kind of get him the ball more and get him going. Still would have liked to have seen him get the ball more, but you can't mess with success. And I really would have liked to have seen because so much of this is the schedule, and they outmanned a lot of teams on the stretch. But they didn't have Rutgers gave them a run there, obviously, but they. You look at. I would have loved to see like an Iowa at the end of the season. What Penn State would have done against an Iowa, at the end of the year. But I'll tell you what, I was really impressed with Terry because number one, he was unafraid to run the ball, unafraid to be a very physical offense, and I don't think that the James offense was physical enough at times the last couple of years, especially. But what really impressed me with Terry is they developed a quarterback. Yeah, Grunkemeyer became a pretty effective player in just about 6 weeks. So I think there was just so many benefits to what Terry did, just from an attitude perspective, that really helped the team. I mean, they committed to running the ball. They got much better up front, and they got a really big time running back, a major record for the university. So I think that was there was all good things on the stretch. I mean, it was obviously too little, too late for the season, but yeah, I thought he did well with that, and I think that's kind of how they turned it around.
So let's get to the next part. That's Ethan Grunkemeyer. He had to step into a tough situation. His first 3 starts were at Iowa, at Ohio State, and then Indiana. What did you think about his performance as each week progressed?
I thought that was the most interesting thing to me at that point in the season. And I just talked to Rich Churchill about this morning. So it's funny that you mentioned it. But you look at Grunkemeyer, and he's thrown into an impossible spot. Drew's out for the year, and James got fired the same week. So it's basically, just go do what you can do. And he was okay against Iowa. He was basically what you'd expect in that environment. And then he gets the number 1 and number 2 teams in the country. But he steadily kind of grew into it. And you saw his confidence. And you saw the one thing I really, really love in quarterbacks is flair and a little bit of ingenuity. And he had it. He was making plays out there when where they didn't seem to be. And he wasn't asked to do too much. He was put in positions where he could succeed in ways that he could with his experience level. And I thought by the Nebraska game especially, and against Rutgers, he was in a position where he could win you football games. So I really like that, and I think it's a really interesting scenario here going forward. Because what do you do if you're Matt Campbell? Do you risk losing a guy you could have for the next couple of seasons and go with your guy, or go get someone out of the portal? Or do you eschew the portal altogether, where you have a guy who you might be able to get a guy who's a little better right now than Grunkemeyer is, and in a season coming up with a weaker schedule, and risk losing him, or do you go and like I said, give Grunkemeyer the reins for a couple of years? I think there's really great arguments both sides, but I think he's a terrific quarterback, and wherever he is next year, whether it's Penn State or somewhere else, I think he's going to be a fine player moving forward, and this was nothing but a good experience for him. I thought he was really impressive, along with Katron and some of those offensive linemen. They were the impressive players in the offense on the stretch.
Yeah, very interesting. The Pinstripe Bowl brings with it Clemson, and brings with it opt-outs on both sides. And the way I'm reading it is, what's interesting is the opt-outs for Clemson are mostly on defense, and it looks like Penn State's got a few on offense. How do you view this matchup, and what meaning does it have, if any, to people out there?
I don't know if it has much meaning in the public. I think that's the nature of bowl games now, Steve. I mean, if you're not in the big dance, there's just too much of this to me. If you're not playing for the championship, you're not really playing. But I really look at this as an opportunity. I mean, especially for Penn State on defense. I mean, Klubnik's a good quarterback, really, really good quarterback,
yes, he is.
And that's a good offensive team. And you can. This is a good couple of weeks here to kind of clean up some of the stuff that didn't work for you on defense this year. I mean, it was pretty much a lost season for the Penn State defense. But you can see where your adjustments go. You can get some really good experience against a really high quality quarterback for some younger guys in this game. And I liked it as a completely developmental game. I mean, bowl games obviously used to be I don't want to say the reward at the end of the year because it seems like it didn't matter then, but it was always your second biggest game at worst, and you have this this chance to show what you can do on a national stage against a team from another conference and all that, and now it's kind of more like a really good preseason, like an early season non-conference game, but I kind of like what this matchup brings for Penn State, especially on defense, and the challenge it could be. You can see where they make some strides, but yeah, I don't blame the fans for not putting too much stock in this, because and the day after the game, there's a new head coach in there, and presumably a new defensive coordinator at some point. Well, definitely a new defensive coordinator at some point, and then a new offensive coordinator at some point, and it's just going to be a different direction in a day from there. So you really don't know what it means. But I think a couple of guys could win some jobs next year, and that to me is really interesting as a developmental piece to this.
Donnie, is there a young player or two that you're anxious to see in this game that might get a shot in it?
Oh, that hasn't played?
Yeah.
I don't know. I would love to see. The guy who immediately when you said that is Dixon, because Darius Dixon. He's going to play, obviously, but the guys like that who showed you something during the regular season. I want to see what those guys can do. Some of the running backs, obviously you're going to see a lot of those guys. I think those guys are really the unknown factors that you're going to see a little bit more of, Torrey Smith. But I think those are the kind of guys I look at to see what you can do in a game like this in a big spot. It's kind of unprecedented, though. You don't ever see that type of player who doesn't play much at all during the regular season come in and and see what they can do in a spot against a legitimate defense in a bowl game. So it'll be interesting, and there's going to be a lot of opportunities. But the running backs, anybody from that group of running backs, I think will be fun to watch in this game. Maybe Kobe Howard. That's a guy you see him a little more maybe. But I don't know where they go and who's. I'm just assuming he'll play more. I assumed he'd play more during the year than he did.
The calendar always plays a role in a lot of things that we see in college football. There seems to be more calendar problems than any other sport. If you had the opportunity, and we made Donnie Collins king for a day, right?
Oh.
A big responsibility, Donnie, but I want you only to focus on football, not the other things you'd like to change. Okay? What are a couple of things vital? Yeah, I feel like I'm doing Festivus here. I have issues with you people.
I have a lot of problems.
But what would you make a suggestion to college football that could maybe improve the calendar if you had the opportunity to suggest it?
I've thought about this a little, and every time I come up with an idea, I'm told it's dumb. But what I would do, though, and this is maybe the most simple solution, I would just go back to the February signing day.
Yes. Yeah.
I think this was all done with the best of intentions, with the kids in mind. Hey, and at the request of the coaches, I know James was big into it. If you're committed in December, you should be committed in February too. Is sign. But I think if you take the early signing period away and just put it in February where it was, I think that kind of, I don't want to say it corrects problems because there's so many problems. But I think you don't have these kids. The one thing we don't talk about so much because it's just part of the game now. But Ohio State's going to lose a pretty good part of its recruiting class here because Matt Campbell leaves, and it's going to benefit Penn State to a degree. But at that point, if you don't have that early signing period, you don't have to. You can just readjust as a player. You can just readjust as a program. Fix everything that way. I think if you're going to let coaches leave throughout December and come and go as they please, and there's no stopping that. That's the way it is. I think at least fix it so a recruiting class can't get decimated for a program that doesn't deserve to have a recruiting class decimated. And I think that is the one thing I would do. And I'm sure there's going to be 20 people telling me that's the dumbest thing they've ever heard. But I think it makes total sense to me. Take the December signing day away, just put it back in February. Just make one signing day. Let's not overcomplicate signing day.
Now, as for the other items that you would like to do in terms of being king for a day, we'll save that for another show.
Yeah, I don't want to knock the playoff before it starts in 48 hours.
That's right. Donnie, to you and your family, happy holidays. Thank you so much for being with us.
Same to you guys, Steve. Thank you.
You bet. This half hour brought to you by our good friends at Sunbury Motors, 4th Street in Sunbury. Sunbury Motors Kia, routes 11 and 15, Hummels Wharf. Online at sunburymotors.com. Great deals at this time of the year. Ford, Kia, Hyundai, best in new inventory. Great deals. Great warranties. Pre-owned inventory. They go over every vehicle on the lot. And don't forget, whether it's quick lane inspections, routine, difficult, they handle all of your service at Sunbury Motors, 4th Street in Sunbury. Sunbury Motors Kia, routes 11 and 15 in Hummels Wharf, and online at sunburymotors.com and News Radio 1070 WKOK.
From decorating the tree to family dinners, gift exchanges, and get-togethers, the holidays are filled with tradition. Why not start a new one this year with a Kia during the season of New Tradition sales event at Sunbury Motors Kia? During the season of New Tradition sales events, you'll find retail bonus cash as high as $1,000. That's $1,000 more in your Christmas stocking. Save up to $4,500 off 2025 Kia Sorento S models, starting at just over $34,000. SMC has 2025 Kia Telluride S models with up to $3,000 off, starting at just over $40,000. How about $2,500 off the 2026 Kia Carnival LXS, and they start at just over $38,000. Celebrate the holidays with the season of New Tradition sales event now. And happy holidays from Sunbury Motors Kia on the Strip in Hummels Wharf.
Central Penn Bank and Trust, we're the friendly faces you know, yeah.
This year brought about a meaningful milestone as two trusted community banks came together as Central Penn Bank and Trust. We may have a new name and a fresh look, but what matters most hasn't changed. You'll still see the same friendly faces, experience the same service you trust, and feel the same commitment, putting our customers and communities first. I'm Jeff Capsar, President and CEO of Central Penn Bank and Trust. In this holiday season, I want to personally thank you for your trust, kindness, and support as we move forward in this new chapter together. From all of us at Central Penn Bank and Trust, we wish you a Merry Christmas and a prosperous New Year. Central Penn Bank and Trust, bridging communities, building your future. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Central Penn Bank and Trust, build your future with us. Central Penn Bank and Trust, we're the friendly faces you know, yeah.
This year brought about a meaningful milestone as two trusted community banks came together as Central Penn Bank and Trust. We may have a new name and a fresh look, but what matters most hasn't changed. You'll still see the same friendly faces, experience the same service you trust, and feel the same commitment, putting our customers and communities first. I'm Jeff Capsar, President and CEO of Central Penn Bank and Trust. In this holiday season, I want to personally thank you for your trust, kindness, and support as we move forward in this new chapter together. From all of us at Central Penn Bank and Trust, we wish you a Merry Christmas and a prosperous New Year. Central Penn Bank and Trust, bridging communities, building your future. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Central Penn Bank and Trust, build your future with us.
Everything I have, I owe to the Adult Literacy Center and getting my high school diploma at age 22.
Find free and supportive adult education centers near you at finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
The weather outside is too cold to function. But inside Fine Wine and Good Spirits, you'll find everything you need to warm up. Our shelves are stocked with the seasonal spirits that bring your favorite cocktails to life, like schnapps for a peppermint eggnog or Buffalo Trace for bourbon cream tiramisu. No matter your taste, we have the assortment to warm up every celebration. Shop for seasonal favorites and more today at your local Fine Wine and Good Spirits. Please enjoy responsibly.
It's the most wonderful time of the year and the perfect time to shop the Susquehanna Valley Mall. From trendy styles at Aeropostale and American Eagle to gifts that sparkle from Kay Jewelers to sweet treats, toys, crafts, and holiday must-haves at Bath & Body Works, Gertrude Hawk, and Hobby Lobby. There's something for everyone on your list. Plus, when you need a break, grab a bite at Applebee's, McAllister's Deli, or Taco Bell and make a day of it. Holiday shopping starts here at the Susquehanna Valley Mall, Selinsgrove. And don't forget to check their hours on Facebook.
CBS News Brief. The son of director Rob Reiner made his first court appearance today in the deaths of his parents. He did not enter a plea. His lawyer, Alan Jackson.
This was a continuance of arraignment. Nothing happened today substantively. We'll be back for an arraignment in the same department on the 7th of January.
Caitlin Huey-Burns reports 4 moderate Republicans have joined Democrats pushing to extend Affordable Care Act subsidies.
They signed onto a discharge petition. This is a way to force a vote on the House floor if the Speaker doesn't bring one up. And so now it has the necessary signatures needed to force a vote on this.
Matt Wolf reports the Oscar ceremony is moving to YouTube.
The younger audiences, that's where they have captive audiences. Look at all the numbers that YouTube is pulling in these days.
The move will happen in 2029. The Academy says ABC will continue to broadcast the show until then. Stocks are lowered today. CBS News Brief, I'm Cammie McCormick.
This is Congressman Dan Muser. As chairman of the Financial Services Subcommittee on Oversight and Investigations, I'm helping lead the fight against rampant scams and fraud targeting Pennsylvanians and all Americans. We're working with the private sector, the White House, law enforcement, as well as through congressional investigations to expose and prevent scams. Please be highly cautious of any communications that appear to come from the IRS, your bank, or E-ZPass. No legitimate organization will ask for your personal information or for payment of fees and fines online. These scammers are clever, so always verify suspicious messages by calling your bank using official numbers. We've launched a new resource to help consumers recognize, reject, and report scams at muser.house.gov/scams. Here you'll find tips on spotting scams, steps to take if you've been targeted, and links to report suspicious activity. Once again, this is Congressman Dan Muser. You aren't fighting these scammers alone. My office is here to help.
Paid for by official funds authorized by the House Representatives.
This holiday season at Old City Bagel, give the gift everyone loves, delicious, fresh-made flavor. Buy a $25 gift card and get a free fresh brewed coffee on us. And while you're checking off your holiday shopping list, pick up one of our Old City holiday gift baskets and we'll treat you to a free bagel sandwich and a free coffee. Because holiday shopping deserves a little fuel. At Old City Bagel Company, everything is handcrafted, fresh and local. Stop in today, 608 Mill Street, Danville, or have it delivered with DoorDash.
MECTEC Incorporated is a family-owned professional engineering and land surveying company located right here in the greater Susquehanna Valley. Property subdivision and land development design are second nature to us. For 3 generations, we have been completing assignments for clients who trust our work. Think you might need our services? Give us a call. I'm Art Thomas, president of MECTEC, and you have my word that you'll be happy working with us. MECTEC Incorporated, building on a solid foundation.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-497-0593. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-497-0593. That's 800-497-0593. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Bringing you an in-depth look at Penn State sports and more. This is the Steve Jones Show on News Radio 1070 WKOK. The Steve Jones Show is presented by Purdy Insurance, Brewers Outlet, and Sunbury Motor Company. Now from the Sunbury Motor Studio, here's Steve Jones.
Half hour brought to you by Brewers Outlet, Reagan Street in Sunbury, the beverage supermarket. 1 week to Christmas Eve. 1 week to Christmas Eve. 8 days to Christmas. 2 weeks from New Year's Eve. Stock up at Brewers Outlet. Reagan Street in Sunbury, the beverage supermarket. Imports, domestics, microbrews, the best selection of beer anywhere. Wine coolers, water, soft drink, snacks. They roast their peanuts fresh and out every day. 6 great flavors of slushies. And ready-to-drink cocktails. High noon. Jack Daniels, Crown Royal. I asked the suit, I said, having anybody over for the holidays? And he said, yes, my good friend Jack. I said, Jack who? Jack Daniels. And the Pickle Bar, led by the Barrels and the Dills. My 2 personal favorites. Indeed, second to none. All at Brewers Outlet. Reagan Street in Sunbury. The beverage supermarket. Meeting Matt Campbell for the first time today. And getting a chance to talk with him. And we'll have a more private meeting coming up in the next few weeks at some point. He's got 5,000 things that he's, trying to do right now. That are pertinent to the future of the program. He can meet with his play-by-play announcer one-on-one weeks from now. But today was the first chance we had to meet, talk, the whole thing. He's the right guy. Just as a person, he's the right guy. Just as a person, he's the right guy. I already think he's a great coach to begin with. He does so much with less compared to everybody else. It's amazing what he does. Now let's see what he can do with more. But there is going to be, as I explained earlier, there's going to be a process that every season will be step by step by step by step. But if you do all the steps, it's going to be a better team, more disciplined team, a team that's ready to win as a team, not as just as individuals, and eventually they'll get to the promised land. Let's see. The Phillies have signed reliever Brad Keller. 2-year deal, $22 million, 30 years of age. Picked himself off the deck in 2025. With the White Sox, 68 appearances, 2.07 ERA. He also gets a $4 million signing bonus. So the Phillies attempting to shore up their bullpen. Meanwhile, Luke Weaver is leaving the Yankees, and he's become the latest to go from the Yankees to the Mets. He joins Devin Williams in the Mets bullpen. It's a 2-year, $22 million deal. So between Juan Soto, Clay Holmes, Devin Williams, Luke Weaver becomes the 4th former Yankee to join the Mets in a 1-year span. He actually pitched pretty well for the Yankees, I thought. $126 appearances, all in relief with the Yankees in 24 and 25, and a 3.21 ERA. Really good. But he goes to the Mets. 2-year deal, worth $22 million. Then there's Ohio University. They fired Coach Brian Smith for cause today. They say he violated his contract by engaging in serious professional misconduct and participating in activities that reflect unfavorably on the university. They did not provide specifics. Smith's attorney is Rex Elliott. We vigorously dispute Ohio University's grounds for termination for cause. He is shocked and dismayed by this turn of events. We plan to fight this wrongful termination to protect his good name. Ohio University is facing UNLV in the world-famous Scooter's Coffee Frisco Bowl. Have any of you ever had Scooter's Coffee? Just asking, I never have. And Tim Albin had been in charge at Ohio University for years. He took the Charlotte job, and Smith was elevated last year. But they fired him. Wow. The Knicks have made the correct decision. They have decided not to hang a banner at Madison Square Garden because they won the NBA Cup. They beat San Antonio last night. You probably didn't even know the NBA Cup was taking place. The past two winners, the Lakers and the Bucks, have banners in their arenas. The Knicks aren't going to do it, which is the right thing to do. It's the NBA Cup. You're going to hang a banner for that? Right, it's like Penn State winning the Cancun Classic. Well, you're not going to hang a banner because you won an in-season tournament. Goodness gracious, they won the ECAC Holiday Festival. They beat two NCAA teams in Princeton and in Hofstra at Madison Square Garden in 2001. They made the NCAA tournament. Well, the NCAA tournament 2001 is up on the NCAA banner. The ECAC Holiday Festival is not on any banner in there. Most of the players, by the way, seem largely indifferent about it. Karl Anthony Towns said the Knicks would celebrate that one night before going back to business. They'll be in Indianapolis on Thursday to take on the Pacers. Jalen Brunson was named the tournament's MVP. He echoed the sentiments. He says, I don't think we're having a parade. We're going to enjoy this, but once we leave tomorrow, we're moving on. No kidding. It's a gimmick. And I know why that the NBA did it. They looked at what they do in European soccer, but that's completely different. What happens is out of nowhere, you've got Liverpool facing Bayern Munich. They're from different leagues, different countries. Okay, they're not doing it internally like this. I've always just thought it was a gimmick. No better than a gimmick. Until I read it, I knew the Lakers won the first one. They put a banner. I didn't even remember that the Bucks won last year. Didn't even remember. And I'm sure I'm going to forget that the Knicks did it this year. So. And by the way, Denai Dennis Sutton says he's playing in the game, just so you know. Okay? You can add that to your... There's been some assumptions made about some players or positions not playing that are not quite correct. So... But Kay Klubnik is going to play. How much he plays, I don't know. And what's interesting about the Klubnik situation is that, say he plays some and then the other guy comes in. And yeah, Klubnik may play the whole game, okay? I'm expecting him to play the whole game. And say they just switched out. The other kid's a different style of quarterback. For example, Trevor Pena had a conference call today, and On the conference call, he said, "No, I'm playing." He says, "You only get so many games to play football. I want to play." Klubnik's been hurt, by the way, but they say that he's getting implemented more and more in practice. And this is a King Mack gave his first impressions today of Matt Campbell. He said, "Look, we had a team meeting. Very clear, like, if you don't want to be here, the door's open." The meeting I had with him personally, the conversation I had with him was great. It was honestly great. And it's interesting because King Mack made a couple of other statements. One was, Matt Campbell, and Matt did ask the players, tell me what is right here, tell me what needs to be changed here. That was part of the two-part question he asked every player. He's met with all of them, so all the player meetings are done. And Max said he told them that there's some lack of leadership, some lack of buying in, not having all 100 people locked in and focused on one thing at a time. It's hard to be successful when people aren't on a mission. When Mac was asked about the Pat Kraft leaked audio, he expressed what I expressed. The fact that someone in that room would jeopardize everyone, that's part of the selfishness and lack of leadership around the team that we need to fix. And he's right. I mean, as I said when it happened, I said, I'm sorry. The locker room, to me, team meeting rooms are sacred. Practices are sacred. I mean, that's how I look at it. So, and Terry, by the way, had the same thing. Terry told the players straight out, you don't want to be here, I will help you go someplace else. He says, but if you don't want to be here, then leave. Then we'll go from there. And I'll help you get someplace. I mean, they've been very straightforward with all the players about this. Which is what you have to be. You can't be wishy-washy with them. They, ask for player opt-outs. Can I make one quick point about player opt-outs? I completely understand when fans say to me, and I completely get it because I know exactly where you're coming from, that you're disappointed when the player opts out and they're not playing for Penn State. I get it. You don't think I want them to play as well? Of course I do. But when you are a coach, when it comes to this, your proverbial hands are tied. Why? Because it's going to be something that they would use against you in recruiting. Well, you don't only go there. I mean, the guys got the chance to go to the NFL and opt out of a bowl game and get ready for it. That way they didn't jeopardize themselves, and they told them to play. See, it's the recruiting part that comes into play. And there are enough negative recruiters out there who are not confident enough in their own product where they'll negatively recruit yours. So if you do anything that seems like it is anti-player, it'll be used against you in recruiting. So I completely understand you as a fan as to how you feel about it. I get it. I'm just trying to lend perspective. Why is it allowed to happen? That's the perspective as to why it's allowed to happen. Plus, the guys that have opted out to this point have played a ton of football for Penn State. I mean, over and over. What games did Wheatley miss? Singleton is reportedly opted out. Well, what game, except for a couple games when he hurt his foot a year ago, what games has he missed? Zane Durant, what games did he miss? I mean, these guys have played a lot of Penn State football. But if you're wondering why, it's the recruiting part of it. You can't have something that is going to be used to go, you don't want to go there. They'll force you to play, even when it's in your best interest to opt out and get ready for the NFL draft. You don't want to go there. Players have a lot of power right now. But, yeah. Take a break. Back with more in a moment here on News Radio 1070 WKOK, brought to you by Brewers Outlet.
Party time, game time, or just fun time. Doesn't matter what time it is, because it's Brewers Outlet time. The beverage supermarket has the area's largest beer selection. Imports, microbrews, ciders, and domestics. Pick from over 100 ice-cold 12-packs and dozens of 24-ounce singles. Soda, snacks, hot sauces, fresh roasted peanuts. Make it one-stop party shopping, and don't forget the pickle bar. So whatever you're celebrating or just doing it up, Brewers Outlet, Reagan Street, Sunbury wants to see you. And thank you for your years of patronage.
At W&L Subaru, we get excited about the 2025 Subaru Share the Love event because Subaru retailers nationwide are giving back. Giving back makes us who we are.
When you get a new Subaru this holiday season, you get to make a difference. For every new Subaru leased or purchased, Subaru will donate $250 to your choice of charity partners. The ASPCA, Make-A-Wish, Meals on Wheels, the National Park Foundation, or our hometown charities, Haven Ministries, or Geisinger Children's Miracle Network.
Plus, W&L Subaru will donate an additional $300 per vehicle. Nationally, more than $350 million have been donated to charity.
Get a great deal with 0% financing for 75 months on select models and low financing rates on the all-new 2025 Subaru Forester Hybrid and the 2026 Subaru Crosstrek Hybrid.
We're off Route 11 in Northumberland and online at WNLSubaru.com.
Financing for well-qualified applicants and is in lieu of retailer rebates or discount. Available on 2025 model year Outback, Forester, and Crosstrek vehicles. Offers end 1/2/26. See WNLSubaru.com for details.
It's the holiday gift everybody loves. A gift card from BJ's M Street Tavern and Oyster Bar in Selinsgrove and Danville. It's a holiday tradition. And now, for every $25 of BJ's gift cards you buy, you get a free bongo card. It's good for free bongo dip. Plus $1 goes to Mostly Mutt's No-Kill Animal Shelter, too. Whether you're buying BJ's gift cards for someone special in your family, the delivery guy, a valued client, heck, even the mailman, you'll get a free bongo card good for free bongo dip with every $25 gift card you purchase. Everybody loves BJ's own creation of hot spinach dip, melted cheddar cheese, and toasted garlic bread. You can give the free bongo card as an extra gift or keep it for yourself. But for every $25 you buy, get a free bongo card. Stock up now on holiday gift cards from BJ's. 2 unique locations, 1 exceptional experience. BJ's M Street Tavern and Oyster Bar in the heart of downtown Danville and on Selinsgrove's historic Market Street.
Before you go over the river and through the woods, stop by Mid-Penn Beverage on the way. And come bearing 6 and 12 packs of beverages you both love. Mid-Penn has a great selection of domestic beers, crisp ciders, refreshing seltzers, and seasonal brews. Plus an incredible selection of craft beers, including local favorites that make great gifts. Or you can enjoy them yourself. And we love helping you find the perfect pour. Mid-Penn Beverage, Route 522 Middleburg, the best way to toast the holidays.
Hi, this is Season. For over 100 years, the Purdy Insurance Agency has been protecting families and businesses of the greater Susquehanna Valley and beyond. With the experience of our trained and knowledgeable staff, you can rest assured that your needs will be evaluated and met by some of the industry's best representatives. No matter what your insurance needs are, call Purdy Insurance today at 570-286-5855. Visit our website at purdyinsurance.com or check us out on Facebook to see what we can do for you.
You should see the suit on air drums to this. Yeah, he literally stopped the holiday party. A lot of people look like when the Dodgers are losing 10-0, they headed for the exits. Unbelievable. Well, yeah. I don't know where we find these people. All right. So great to have you with us. Thanks to Donnie Collins for being on the show today. And more coming up tomorrow. Looking forward to it. Football team goes back to practice tomorrow. Then they're going to go Friday morning. So Terry confirmed to me they're going to go Friday morning. And Saturday will be off. Sunday they'll practice at the normal time. I might be back from Hershey in time for that because the game at Hershey's at noon on Sunday. Then they travel on Monday. And then they go typical harder Tuesday, Wednesday at Fordham. They are going to have a walkthrough on Christmas Day because that's Thursday. I mean, it's not that long or extensive, but they're still going to do it. And they should do it. I mean, what the heck? You're together as a team. You might as well do it. And then Friday, they'll be at Fordham. They are, for Fast Friday, they are not going to get into Yankee Stadium until game day. Yankee Stadium's not going to allow either team in. Okay? It's simple. I mean, simple as that. And most of the Clemson opt-outs are on defense. They've got several starters out on defense. On offense, they've got, well, let's see, they normally use 2 tight ends. One of them's hurt, won't play in the game. One of their offensive linemen, Sadler's out for the year. Just happened late against South Carolina. I think the wide receiver 0 is out, but Klubnik is going to play. But Klubnik has been hurt, but they think he's progressing well enough that he'll be able to play in the game. He's a heck of a quarterback, by the way. I don't care what the stories are. He hasn't met this, met that. It's a blah, 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 blah. Okay. But most of their opt-outs are on defense. 3 of their defensive linemen are out. They have 2 guys in the secondary out. One of their linebackers is hurt, thus he's out. That's Wood-Woodaz. So, you know, both teams will have to rely on depth in this game. And the question's going to be, where are we with bowl games? Personally, I'm old school. I still think they're incredibly valuable. Rick Neuheisel, for example, has Rick Neuheisel's proposed doing them to start the season. And I'm still a big believer in having the games. I love games. Right? I know some people refer to them as meaningless exhibitions. If you're playing, it's not meaningless. Because if somebody's going to be there to smack you in the mouth, it is not meaningless. You've got to smack them back. So you tell me the guy getting smacked in the mouth and then smacking back, you tell those guys it's meaningless. And guess what? It still counts on your record. That part's not meaningless either. But people have their opinions, and I've discovered more and more as time has gone that as much as you try to sway people's opinions, it's difficult to do so.
You're listening to News Radio 1070 WKOK Sunbury. You can hear us anywhere in the world with the Sunbury Broadcasting Corporation app.